Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me today. I guess I should probably start saying good night. I don't know, it's like super dark out there. I don't know, this time of year. It's interesting. So we made it to Friday and it has definitely been a really busy week. You are listening to the Financial Chick Show and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions, so like our pages to get updates and see what's happening. If you've missed a show or want to listen to a show already aired, you can go to the media tab and listen to all prior shows. The topics are listed for your convenience. So I'm pumped up today to be back live. The studio was closed last week for Veterans Day, so I had taped my show last Friday. I am also excited to be back live on Facebook today too. I'd actually had a few people ask me if I was still doing the show, so you guys should be tuning in on the radio. But I know a lot of you catch me on Facebook. So yes, I am still doing the show. It's been over 2 years, which is amazing. What's happened is I've had a few guests for the past few weeks, and they were call-in guests from different states, so they weren't able to actually come into the studio. So being technologically challenged, I don't know how to enable Facebook to hear the caller's voice on the phone. Now I know that they've told me in the studio that there is a way to do this. It's on my to-do list. So eventually we'll have that happen. So basically having a one-sided interview would not be that exciting to listen to, only hearing me and not the answers of the person that's giving us all these wonderful answers to the questions. But I am back today, baby, so I am excited. I don't know where to start because I have so much to talk about today. I guess I'll start in something that's near and dear to my heart, is our rescue dog. So if you've been listening, you heard that we rescued a little puppy dog, and she's the new office mascot for Diversified Financial Solutions, and she's doing great. She is really an amazing dog. We're going to have her actually 3 weeks tomorrow, and she's just fit into our life and melded into our world just so easily and so well, and it's just amazing. This poor thing, she was a stray and was in a kill shelter, and a foster had taken her in, and we were able to adopt her. So she's amazing. So she's done more in these short 3 weeks than I think most people have. We had a political rally for Lee Zeldin and Ron DeSantis there. We've done walks by the water. She's had a few rides on the boat, and she's been meeting and greeting clients. And so she's just getting her feet wet real quick, or her paws wet, I guess I should say. And she's doing well. She's the best. So I'm very excited. There's definitely a new vibe in the office. I miss my office mascot that was there for 18 years, my Haley. But Winnie now is there, and we just couldn't be happier. So excited. So also, since we had been together, there has been a midterm election, which you probably have heard. I gotta admit, I'm a bit disappointed that Lee Zeldin and Allison Esposito were not victorious in their race for governor. It's amazing that they could win 49 of the 62 counties in New York and still not win the election. New York City basically votes for the entire state. I guess that's why we have the Electoral College in the U.S. elections, because concentration of people in one area obviously can determine an entire election. So New York actually is really one of the reddest blue states. If you happen to look at one of the maps, it's just absolutely amazing what has happened. Hochul has alienated a lot of voters throughout the state, upstate, Long Island. So this should be an interesting 4 years and see what's going to happen from here forward. On one side, too, the Republicans have taken control over the House, and the Democrats control the Senate and White House. The markets have responded positively due to the fact that there's no longer a one-party rule, which, of course, is a good thing. But the best thing, I'm going to go there. Yes, I am. Nancy Pelosi is gone as the Speaker of the House. What a refreshing change. She was especially divisive and has been there for a long time, so kind of getting new blood in and moving things around is always a good thing. Kevin McCarthy will become the new Speaker of the House, so it's going to be interesting to see how things change and what things are going to transpire with the new with the new people in place. Sadly, though, we did not end the career of Chuck Schumer. Again, talking about career politicians and being around for a long time. I don't know if you've gotten to see the debate. I did. His opponent, Joe Pinion, what an amazing candidate who was sincere and had a great handle on the issues facing New York. He really, I mean, he was very impressive. I think this guy's going to do some big things in the future. Very poised, well-spoken, just amazing. So, but I guess we're going to still have to have the same speeches at every graduation from Chucky. So it's unfortunate that we still have to deal with another career politician, Mitch McConnell. It would have definitely been nice to see some new blood in that mix, for sure. So I'm not sure what Pennsylvania was thinking. That's another interesting race that we had. So the next few years, I guess till the next presidential election, will certainly continue to keep us on our toes. So transitioning to the financial world, I hope that we all did get over the shocking statements from the third quarter. I know they were pretty bad. A very interesting phenomenon. We all know that markets go up and down every day, really every hour on the hour. But most of us really don't tune in to our investments until we get our statements, right? I mean, that's usually when we go. I mean, I do have some people that tell me. I just had a meeting this week, and the guy goes, I go in every day. Like, I check my accounts every single day, which is good, but that's really very emotionally taxing on you. So that's not the best thing to do. So I would say for the majority of people, they do look at their statements. So the interesting part was, on September 30th, which was when the quarter ended and when the statements were generated, that happened to be the lowest day of 2022. So that was the day that we memorialized the account values. For most people to get their quarterly statements, if you've gotten your October statements and stuff, things have changed. So there's some good news. I know I've had a few people, once I got the statements, the threshold of pain really was exceeded at that point, and they were just like, I got to do something. And again, the emotions started running high. But I tell people, listen, don't let emotions determine your investment strategies. And the reason being is that, I guess I don't want to say, but the market or the powers that be tend to want people to do that. So let's look at an interesting phenomenon. So September 30th was the worst day of the year. But since that low point and where we are as of today, we are, actually this is as of last Friday, in the S&P 500 from September 30th to November 11th, we're up over 8%. In the Dow Jones, we're up over 12%, almost 13%. And that's just in a very short period of time. And then the NASDAQ, we're up 5.2%. So if you take a look at what I'm saying here, if you would have gotten emotional because you said, wow, this is terrible, and sold when you felt emotionally, that this was not a good place to be, or that your investments were bad, or whatever the case may be, you would have lost that bounce off the bottom that would have recouped. Again, let's be honest, we haven't recouped. We had a high on January 4th of this year, and it's been all downhill ever since. But a lot of reasons for that with inflation and the rising interest rates and everything like that. But the point of the matter is that you gotta stick with it. If you have a long-term investment goal, you just stay with it. Because typically what happens, especially with electronic trading, when the markets get to a certain point or they go low, they start triggering buys. So everybody kind of starts going into the market. Again, it's not you and I. It's really the technology or the market trading. Same thing on the top side. So like when everything goes up and they start buying more. So, or selling, I should say, at that point. So you really need to just stick with your goals and then stay with your portfolio and not get emotional about it. So like I said, I know a few of you had been a little bit emotional about it, but things look a lot better. Hopefully that will continue through the end of the year, but we shall see. But I'm going to keep you on track with all of that. But we are hitting the break. So this is your financial chick, Denise Nostrom. The company is Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. Feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691 or financialchickshow.com. We're closing in, so the break, we've got to pay some bills, but come back after the break. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the financial chick. My company's in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and we are here to help you navigate all of those changes. So as I said, it was quite a busy week. We had Veterans Day last Friday, which I said I wasn't here live. I taped the show. On Saturday, I had the opportunity to do some veterans yoga for veterans. So at the South Shore Mall, did some yoga and was able to help the veteran organization raise some money. So that was a whole lot of fun. On Monday, my women's nonprofit organization, Power of Women Exchanging Resources, had a power social on Monday at Rum down in Patchogue. So I want to thank them for their hospitality. And we had a great group of women that came. Onboarded a few more women business supporters, and we're looking for some really great stuff to happen in 2023. On December 5th, we have a chunky blanket event right in time for the holidays at Air Workshop down in Patchogue. So if you go to Power of Women Exchanging Resources on Facebook, you can get more information about that. We'd love to meet you, love you to come down. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not really crafty, but I'm real excited about doing the chunky blanket. So good times and fun. So from there, I took a ferry up to Connecticut on Tuesday morning to meet with clients up there for 2 days. And it was kind of nice to get back to see people back to back, or back to face, I should say. I had purchased a practice last year, and with the pandemic and the way everything is, I just was able to meet with people via Zoom, which thank God for that technology, but there's nothing like the face-to-face. So I was able to do that, had a couple of great days. I went out with a colleague at dinner who's up in Connecticut, and you know me, if you've been listening to the show for a while, I'm not a big fan of winter. So on Tuesday night, get out of the restaurant, and it's snowing in Waterbury, Connecticut. And really snowing, like not just flakes, like a lot, like it was like a storm, like it was really coming down. So that was kind of interesting. And, coming off the weekend when we had 70-degree weather here, and then, we went for a boat ride on Sunday, and then, I'm in a snowstorm, which was really, really crazy. So I've seen my first snowstorm, and I'm good now. I don't really need to see it anymore. But it was definitely like strange to see it so early, but I guess it is time. We did take our boat out of the water Monday. So I guess we're really easing into the winter season. And I have colleagues up in Buffalo, and they're getting hit really bad with snow. So yes, tis the season. So one thing that we talk about, I've been meeting with the clients when I was up in Connecticut. A lot of people were coming into the meeting room to meet with me, and the question was, do I have any money left? And it's really interesting because a lot of times a lot of my clients do come in and say that. And I just wonder where that originates from. It's really kind of interesting, whether it's the media or just, I guess the day-to-day, sensationalism, the CNBC or Fox Business or whatever you're listening to, they sensationalize that, oh my God, the market's up, it's the best day ever, and then if the market's down, it's like the worst day ever. So the extremes are there but then when you really look at the market from day to day or week to week, or month to month, it's extreme, but sometimes where we begin and where we ended off is the same place, but we've had a lot of ups and downs, like a roller coaster. But just like a roller coaster, you start in the shaft, right? Where you start at the beginning, where you load to the cars, you go around and you come back, and you're back in that same place. So sometimes that's what happens in the market. But it's interesting to have the meetings and then show clients how their accounts are performing. Now the numbers are not great for this year, with rising interest rates, inflation, and all the other things that we're having to deal with. But we look at the big picture to show how they've done over the life of the investment. And sometimes it's just, the eye-opening. We do not want to make determinations of success or failure based on a 1 year or less time frame. So if we look at, like I said before, January 4th, I don't know, I just have this committed to memory, happened to be the highest point this year of the market. And we've kind of eroded from there. And, so that's basically where we lost a lot of our momentum at this point. Prior to that, 2020, 2021 were really good years. So we've taken a step back, but it doesn't mean that it's the end at this point. We're going to have good years. We're going to have bad years. So I mean, this year, what we're looking at is, and it was very interesting. Last week, we everything was in the green. We had some things like the NASDAQ up 8.11%. But now to keep that in perspective, now again, this is through November 11th. We've had a terrible year in the NASDAQ. I mean, with interest rates going up, that's not a good thing for technology companies or small companies because they tend to leverage or borrow money. So when the borrowing becomes more expensive for them, they don't fare so well. So what's going to happen is that you're going to find companies that just will go out of business because they can't make it, or they're going to merge with other companies. So you're going to see a lot of consolidation. And but that was quite of an interesting number, and that's a year number. I mean, people will kiss the ground if they get 8.11% in a year. That's a fabulous return, and it did it in 1 week. So this is the whiplash that we're getting at this point. But to keep that all in perspective, year to date, the Nasdaq's down 27.1, and year over year from last year to this year is down 27.3. And everything's kind of following suit. The only one that's really kind of holding its own is Dow Jones, still down, but not down as much as others. The winners right now, as far as sectors. There's only one that's in the green, and it's energy, oil and gas. So just a funny thing that basically oil and gas is something that this administration is very much against, and they were talking, they want to push in the electric vehicles. But what they did was their policies that they've instituted have put the companies that they hate the most in the position to make the most money. Very interesting, right? So it's all these unintended consequences that happen in life. And so that's the best performing sector. Utilities is the second best performing sector, but through last Friday, down at about 2.7%. And consumer staples, the things that we need, food, water, energy, a roof over our head, obviously toilet paper and paper towels, during the pandemic, we know that. Again, down about 2.8%. Communication services, consumer discretionary, things that we don't really need but we like, and real estate are rounding out the bottom three sectors. And the other challenging part of this market environment this year is that the bond market, your 10-year treasury year to date is down 16.8. U.S. bonds down 14, global bonds down 17, even your munis are down 11%. So this is, you might have heard the 60-40, this is like 60% in equities or stocks and 40% in bonds, and you should have a pretty insulated portfolio. Really not the case this year. So it's very challenging to maneuver these markets, and that's something that I'm here to help you do. So listen, I hope you were you've got your portfolio, but I hope you weren't planning on the get rich quick game and investing all your money into cryptocurrency. If so, I'm so sorry, but hopefully most of you have not done that. So we've lost some momentum in the markets, but not our entire nest egg. So when the clients come in and say, have I lost all my money? The answer is emphatically no. So, I'm not even going to go into the crypto thing. I think, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I've talked about it before. You go into a Starbucks, or you can see a Starbucks and you see all the cars around the block, or the people are in and out of Starbucks. You know that they're doing good business. What did cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, how did you determine whether that was doing well or not? So it's kind of a tough situation, and people have fallen into that. I mean, places like Coachella, the music group, they've put in the music. Oh God, I can't think of it, that they have every single year. They've lost a lot of their money. They put a lot of money there. So people are definitely having a hard time. So the bottom line is, when you should work with somebody. You want to be in the know and not be emotional. So give me a call. Let me know what I can do to help you. I hope you all have a great weekend. I want to wish you and your family a very nice Thanksgiving. Take time to slow down and enjoy your family and friends. Not to mention, for some of you, it's a long weekend. That's fun. If you're traveling, please be safe. So let's all remember to do better and be better and ask for help when is needed. The Financial Chick, I'm always here to help you. So if you have questions on anything I talk about, definitely contact my office and give me a call and let me know what I can do to help. So until next Friday, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you soon.